Hey everyone, happy Monday and welcome to another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. Let's see what happened around here today. So one thing is that Rafa spent a good portion of his day on was those convertible windows for the 64 convertible. Again, no real show and tell on those, but yeah, he made some more progress on putting those together. I think I might have mentioned that the windows that the owner of the vehicle and the windows, she had her glass guy make the windows, the actual roll up and down windows, and they were just wrong. We can't use them. So I talked to Koch's over there, and they can supply the windows, and they will be right. Unlike this other guy that made him, I don't know what was going on with this guy, but yeah. So the customer said she had her glass guy and wanted to use him. I should have just insisted that we get them from Koch's. It actually would have been cheaper, and they would have fit, and they would have looked bitchin' with the right logos and everything. So this will be one of those all's well that ends well type deals, but a lot of frustration and unnecessary expense to get those windows right. But anyway, so that's it for that. So Rafa then spent the rest of the day, the afternoon really, putting the Deluxe trim on this beautiful turquoise 64 bus, and it's pretty much all on, at least all the beltline trim. So next up is putting the actual molding or beading in it that will be that'll be green, and it's almost the same color as the bus, a little bit different, but yeah, it's gonna look amazing. And then the rocker trim has to go on, which are the ones that go down there. And yeah, this thing's looking amazing and getting super close to being done. So there you go. So much trim on these buses when they're done, between the bumpers and the yet to go on rocker ones, and then the belt line, just trim everywhere on these buses. These things are beautiful. And then the owner has a pair of really cool original fog lights that are going to go up on the front bumper too, just to add a little bit more. So you'll see those maybe even this week we'll get those on. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, so that was Rafa's day, other than those annoying convertible windows, working on this bus here. So me, what I did was continued working on the cowlook bug. Those of you that follow know the whole disaster with the motor and the oil leak. Literally had a small hole in the case that was missed by many shops who had their hands on that motor. Check my video from Saturday if you're not sure what I'm talking about. Anyway, so the engine builder picked up the motor today, and he's going to tear into it and see about getting that one case half welded up. So that's happening. But what I did was a few things here, just, mostly small things. But again, there's just, you add a bunch of small things together, and next thing you know, you got a car built. So one thing was I went ahead and finally put on the fuel door there and its respective mechanism to open it. Let's see here if I can reach in here with one hand and pull that thing. Boom, there you go. So yeah, it works really nice actually. Boom, done. So I did that. The little clamps to hold the gas tank down. This is a custom car. Normally those would be zinc plated, but went ahead and painted them black. So it looks kind of nice, gloss black. And what else did I do? The glove box itself, the actual box of the glove box, box, I don't know what else you'd call that, is in now. Before I had the door and all that in, but now the actual box is in with the, on these later cars, the front hood is released by a lever inside the glove box, and so that's all on there. It's got like a little brace that goes down to the body so that when you pull on that, it's not putting all the load on this, kind of cardboard box here. So that's all in. Also went ahead and painted the mechanism itself black. Again, this is a hot rod, a custom car. Normally that thing on a late model car would be, I think they were that kind of gold colored zinc. So it's black and it looks pretty killer like that. So I think that was a good choice to make it that. So I still need to run the cable through its conduit down to this, and then might actually go and put the hood on this thing pretty soon here. So that's kind of exciting. It's really going to start looking like a done car, minus the big gaping hole in the back where there's no motor. But you know, hopefully that'll, I don't know, maybe they'll be able to turn that around in a week or two. So let's see, what else did I do? Speaking of gaping holes, the one which used to be there for an antenna is now filled with an antenna. So that went on today. So like I said, just a lot of little things like that. All these details, they just add up. I think those are probably kind of the main things that I did on this car today. I did on the glove box, I had it all installed with its little bezel that goes around it here, but I put these little like kind of rivet fasteners in today. They're not too bad. I don't know. I've heard my guy at Wolfsburg West says, oh, those things are terrible and nobody's able to get them to work and this and that. I didn't really think they were that big of a deal. I thought they went in pretty well. And then likewise, there's molded into this piece, there's three little essentially like pins that stick down through the sheet metal of the body here. That has little sheet metal clips, I guess, that go on. So I put those on. So yeah, this thing is all in for real now. Oh, and here I mentioned earlier the release for the front hood. So that's this little lever here. You pull it like that, and that would release the hood. So there you go. Oh, I know another big thing I did on this car today. Geez, I almost forgot. Is I was having a heck of a time with the latch back here. It was not lining up with, if I can do this with one hand. So these later cars, there's these cast aluminum pieces here that mount right here, as you see, and then I don't know if you'll be able to see this on the seat itself is this kind of, I don't know, L-shaped deal, and that actually goes over that little cast piece, and that's what holds the seat from flopping around. And then to release it, there's this rubber little thing on the one side. You pull that and it pulls that lever up. I don't know if you'll be able to see that from here. Yeah, there, see it moving? That's what happens when you pull that strap, and that releases it from there. Anyway, I don't know why this seat back must have been mismatched to the car or something, even though it has, you know, that correct mechanism. I don't totally understand what's happening here, but that little L-shaped deal that comes out there was almost half an inch too low to interface correctly with the little cast bit here on the body. Like there was just no way, and you couldn't put the back seat down, because instead of kind of popping over that thing, it was just like ramming into it by, again, about that much. And so what I ended up doing finally was there's basically a tab on the back of the backrest that sticks down on each side that goes through a bolt in the body, and that's kind of where the whole thing hinges. I basically extended those by about 0.4 of an inch, and that raised the back seat up to the point where those latches and everything work beautifully together. So I'm not totally sure why the seat was sitting so low like that. The holes in the body are, you know, they're welded on there, and there's, you know, like a threaded nut basically welded. It's not something that somebody changed or anything like that I could see how that would have happened. So anyway, long story short, it works awesome now. And I got to break out the welder and have some fun doing stuff like that. So it was actually kind of a fun little project. And now it works good. So yeah, that was kind of another thing that I did today on this car. So again, details. Takes a lot of them to put a car together. So Mr. Jacob today, speaking of details, he came in and he put the 1-2 side of the long block together. So got the pistons and cylinders in there. We got spacers to give us an appropriate amount of deck clearance there. And yeah, I went ahead and put that sucker together. It's all torqued down and everything. Got the push rod tubes in there and everything. So he's going to come tomorrow and put the other half on. And then at that point, the long block is pretty much done, with the exception of putting the rocker assemblies and stuff together. So yeah, well, you need to get on gathering up all the tin for this motor and put it together. And then he's already rebuilt the carburetor, I think the distributor, the fuel pump, all the sort of ancillary things for this motor are done or almost done. So yeah, this little stock 36 is going to go together. Should go together pretty quick now. The main thing probably that's going to hold it up is going to be the tin, getting that out to powder coating. But yeah, so good job to him. His first motor here, looking awesome. Anyhow, that is it for today, guys. Appreciate you all watching. Thanks for all the comments and likes and stuff that you guys post on my videos. And we will see you again tomorrow. Bye.